How you doing, YouTubers? It is September something or other 2018. It's the end of the month, 25, 26. I don't.
28 because you missed my birthday yesterday.
It's the 28th because I missed Betsy's birthday, so I didn't miss your birthday. In any case, how you doing, YouTubers? What we have sitting in front of me is the carburetor off the 185. It is gummed up like this here. I'm sitting down because I have an injured back. If you watched my last video, you heard me mention that I pulled a muscle on my back last Friday, and here it is 7 days later, and I'm still having problems with it. So with some muscle relaxers and some high-powered leaves, here I sit. I can tell this fuel that's in this is pre-ethanol fuel. How do I know? It's gummed up. Ethanol fuel turns everything crusty white. It actually, ethanol fuel is bad for these old carburetors, any old carburetors. I'm having an issue with my 48-inch tractor with this new fuel. The current fuel systems really aren't designed for it. Brass and aluminum do not like ethanol, which is alcohol. So just aware of the why. Sunoco does make a racing fuel. I found out. I was watching Cars and Cameras the other day, which those guys are actually kind of part of the inspiration. Rather Be Welding, Chucky, 2009, and Build, Break, and Repeat. Those guys really inspired me to start doing these YouTube videos and stuff. I like what they do. I watch their stuff all the time. Actually, pretty much if it has a hot rod in it, a tractor, a motor, or goes fast, I watch it on YouTube. As well as Motor Trend channel and Velocity channel and Speed channel and you name it. If it's cars, I'm there. Any case, those are the guys that really inspired me to sit and start making my own videos and stuff like that. I did do the monetizing thing. I don't expect to make, I'm not going to be any of those other people that make, a whole living on YouTube. Maybe just a couple extra dollars to help with the build. So sorry about the commercials, but, need help getting money to make these builds because I work every 7 days a week as it is. And I'm trying not to buy a lot of parts for this stuff, which is why we're doing all the rat rod stuff. But, plus I have a love of rat rods. Any case, gummed up carburetor, gonna try and clean it, gonna try and get it working well enough to get the 185 to fire for our future build, which is the rat rod go-kart, once we finish the rat rod mini bike. That's actually coming along pretty well. The centrifugal clutch should be in here real soon. We'll get that attached to the motor, get that mounted up with a new chain and stuff like that. We're going to use the existing tires and front end with it now until I can generate enough cash, some way, shape, or form, to order the front end I want to put on it. Excuse me. In any case, YouTube, we're going to work on this. I only have a little while to work on this. It's DJ night tonight. We have karaoke at my local VFW, which I host. I do DJ. All right, well, we are really gummed up in here. And prying on it is not really doing much. And trying to soak it with some let's screw this cap back on. We'll try this. And then we'll fill it up with some of this this is all-purpose lubricant from Blaster. I have PB Blaster around here somewhere. Lord knows where it's at.
Where'd that baby go?
But we can't get the thumb throttle or anything else off until we get this thing apart and get the fuel lines and vents and everything out. Oh, look, the whole brass piece came out. How about that? That's not good. We'll have to cut that off and press that back in. That's the fuel line. Screws. That turns, so half, one, and a half. So there you go. The idle set screw is 1.5 turns, which is pretty standard for these carburetors. Before you disassemble carburetor, always turn your screws in till they stop, count them, so when you put it back together, you turn them all the way in and turn them back out, which will usually be 1.5 turns. That's somehow it just works out that way with almost every one of these motorcycle carburetors. Just make sure you do that. It just makes it a lot easier to set it up and tune it up when you get these things cleaned if you do try and rebuild your own carburetors. So now that we know it's 1.5 turns on the idle screw, we can pull that out. And this is a crusty piece here, man. And there we go. Well, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. All the corrosion just pretty much came right off it. It's aluminum corrosion, it's on it. It's got a little bit of rust, but you can fix that with a wire wheel real easy. Now, the rest of the carburetor. I don't have any more carburetor cleaner. I used it all up. It's empty. But I do have a brand new can of brake clean. I go through this stuff. Brake clean is my best friend. I go through this stuff like crazy. Clean everything with brake clean. So let's give it a shot of that over here in the yard. Now that's not really doing much. This stuff is gunk. Let's take this apart now. And we got some. There we go. We got some stuff coming through this now. Some brake clean, everything's starting to leak out. Oh, we got it. There it goes. We got the throttle body out. It's thoroughly gunked up. Keep a good supply of these blue paper towels around. These things are fantastic. And the brake clean is cutting all this off. So that's a good thing. The needle is actually relatively clean. It's, well, there we go. The needle is spotless right now. All the gunk came right off it. And we are golden with that. As far as that goes, that's good. That's a good sign. Always a good sign. And we're pretty gunky down in here. Shove the paper towel down in. Give it a good liberal squirt of brake clean. Like I said, this stuff is golden. It works just as good as carburetor cleaner. This is the non-flammable stuff. Personally, I prefer the flammable stuff. I mean, you know, you're gonna use something, make sure you can burn stuff with it. That's the redneck way. If you ain't using the flammable stuff, you ain't redneck enough. But it looks like this stuff is coming out. It's cleaning up pretty good. Oh, the float is moving. The float is moving. It's gummed up, but it's moving. All right, so we need to tap that pin out. Let's see if I can find something to tap that pin out with. Want to be careful. You don't want to break anything. These things are plastic, and if you're not careful, you can do some real damage. So always make sure you get the biggest hammer you can find to do delicate work, because that's the redneck way. Grab the biggest pair of pliers you can find. I have bigger. These are just Tractor Supply clearance aisle. I think I paid $3 for them. But they're brand new jaws, and they're not all messed up. Be very careful not to damage the pin. Plenty of lubricant. It is gummed up. It doesn't want to come apart. We don't want to damage anything. We want to try and use it. If you do mess up the very end of the pin, you can spin it in a drill with some sandpaper and smooth it back out. And there it comes. Look at that. There we go. We got a pin. Now, all right, there we go. Check the float, shake it, make sure it's not full of stuff, full of water, or, well, not full of water, it'd be full of gas. Well, unless you had this thing was submerged, but, yeah, it's not too bad off. Get some dirt off there. And, a little bit of brake clean. Very gingerly clean the gummy stuff off of there. Oops, almost said a 4-letter word. I follow DJ rules. I try and keep my stuff clean. I want children to be able to watch this and inspire them to possibly take on their own projects and go-kart builds. I was tearing bicycles apart by the age of 8 and putting them back together, as well as computers. Apple IIe for all you old people my age. Let's get a liberal amount of brake clean on our blue paper towel and see if we can clean the end of this jet up and get the tarry stuff off it and find the slot. Then we can remove it and clean it up and soak it. Maybe run a little piece of wire, paper clip or something through it, depending on the size. Hopefully I don't have to go to work and use my wire drills to clean up this thing. I'd like to thank my doctors. My back feels so much better right now. Oh, lovely. There we go. Easy peasy. Oh boy. Now the fact you can't see light through this jet, that's not good. That's actually pretty bad. For experimental purposes, we're going to try a little of this purple power stuff that I picked up at AutoZone. Works great for degreasing, so we'll see if it works for degumming and cleaning this thing out. Otherwise, we are going to go with the hard, volatile, toxic, cancerous chemicals to clean that out. All right, well, I went to my little, to my nasty chemical stash I have. I found the PB Blaster. I found some electronics cleaner, which that's some pretty nasty stuff for cleaning stuff too. And happened to found some throttle and kart cleaner. Who knew? Still up a straw with it too. Brand new can, because apparently the tab was still on it. Feels partially empty though. This purple cleaner is cleaning this throttle. This I'm having a brain fart moment. I'm having an old people moment. The main jet. There. Yeah. The main jet. It's cleaning the main jet. Can't see light through it yet, so we're going to go something a little more aggressive. We're going to do the throttle cleaner.
Come on.
Well, we can give up on the throttle cleaner. Apparently, there's no aerosol in it. I know I bought that at Ollie's,
Go.
so let me say I'm not surprised. All right, back to brake clean. That's much better. Clean out our soaking bucket. We're going to add some gasoline to our soaking bucket. Some brake clean. This is Redneck's parts washer fluid. Things like ethylene, naphtha, toluene. This won't work. Yeah, that aerosol can is just dead. Huh. Never seen that before. But yeah, brand new can. How about that? No pressure in it. But that's still a whole can of, well, half a can I would say, of throttle plate and carb cleaner in there. Make sure you take all the screws out of the carburetor because you need this stuff to get in everywhere. Yeah, that's extra gummy there. We're going to drop, and that's already started working. To pull these, you gotta pull these gaskets out. Oh, they are crudded up in there. There we go. Give it a little scratch on the side. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna soak the gasket too. They're resistant to carb cleaner and stuff, so they should be okay. We're going to soak the carburetor in there. One, two, three, 4 half turns. That's 2 turns. 1.5 on that, on the other, on the idle air screw. 2 full turns on the air mixture screw. That's in there. Drop our idle mixture screw in there. We are not going to put the float bowl in there. We are just going to leave that just as it sits. We will clean up the little bit of gumminess that's in the top of it there, a little bit of black. We're going to clean that off with just by hand. Alright, YouTube. That's it for now. We'll have to get back to that hopefully tomorrow. Since my wedding canceled that I was supposed to DJ tomorrow night, I will be able to tinker with that carburetor. I should have it back together and running by tomorrow. I'm pretty good with this stuff. So, I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll finish this video out and get it posted, and hopefully my back holds out for a little while longer. So, until tomorrow. Hey YouTubers, welcome back. We are messing with these things another day. My back's still messed up, so I'm kind of limited to what I can do, and as you know from earlier in this video, I was messing with the carburetor. A day or two's passed since then, and I got it back together. I didn't even film it. It was just because it took me like 3 minutes to put the carburetor back together. Got it cleaned out as best I could. It's not perfect. The new carburetor will be in tomorrow. It's sitting up in Westchester Post Office, and I'll pick it up after work tomorrow from Mom's house. And right now, I bolted the carburetor back on the 185, and we're going to give it a pull and see if we can get this thing to start and run. So let's give that a try. satisfied, YouTube. Well, there you go. I'm satisfied with that. Not bad for free, huh? We tinkered with the carburetor a little bit. It's not right. The new carburetor is going to make a world of difference. It doesn't idle. I had to keep holding it on there. Like I said, I got the carburetor as clean as I could with what I have around here, and went with it that way. And I just filled up enough gas to fill up the gas tube. The float's not right. The overflow, it leaks out the overflow. The float's hanging up a little bit, but it runs. And with the new carburetor on it, it's going to run like a top. And yeah, we're ready to start making a frame now for the Rat Rod go-kart, because we got an ATV motor for it. Catch you guys later. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, YouTubers.